Greetings, traveler! Today I'm going to show you how I made a handgun from the RuinedKing. Let's start crafting. First, I created a 3D model in Blender. For the base, I use game concept art for reference. I separate low poly into parts. This was the result. Then I UV unwrapped it and marked every piece so I could see where it should be. I printed and taped all pages together and cut out the shapes. I had to plan and build it step by step so the parts be in the right order. I began tracing all the pieces onto EVA foam. And then I cut everything out. All parts are done. Then I work on small details of the gun, the bolts. I heated them a little so the cut would stay open. I enjoyed it, they really look like real bolts. I covered the edges with contact cement to connect the first layer of parts, and slowly built a base for the gun. At that time I didn't know that you had to wait a little until the glue would be ready before sticking the parts together. So you see me struggling to do it. But I was trying my best as an incredibly professional craftsman I was. The first layer of parts is done. Time for the bomb part of the gun. But it isn't that round though, so let's try fixing it with foam clay. Ah, much better, don't you think? The base is done. I also added a lot of hot glue to make sure nothing would get loose. After adding the second layer of parts, I started adding marks for the next step. Dremel sanding. It was dusty and loud and my hand was shaking. But it was actually fun, I liked the sanding step. It was time for the next layer, which would hold it all together. And sanding again. And the base was done. The sanding made it look more like wooden and metal textures. I marked the guidelines of the bolts before gluing them to the gun. The next part was priming. I used a flex bond and applied 3 thick layers of it. And time to paint. I painted the base of metal and wood with acrylic paint. Added highlights to the textures. Added a dirt layer around the corners, roughly brushed on, and then wiped most of the paint off. Then it was the turn to paint wood lines and add highlights. It's finally done. I thought I was going to chill while working on this fun side project, but I was sweaty as hell and was tired from thinking. I'm happy that it turned out to be a nice gun. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed the making process of this project. It was my first project and it's not perfect, but I hope you like the result as much as I do. Farewell.